Okay, I need a lighter right here. Welcome everybody. So much respect to all of you. I didn't turn off my AC. Let me make sure I have sound. Testing. Yeah, you guys, let me turn off the AC. This takes me a couple seconds. All right, we got this. Machiwa. Thank you all of you for coming and hanging out with us tonight on your Tuesday. Scoot this in a little bit. Whoa, test. It's, wow. Sorry. Glad I checked. Testing. It was going way into the red. Testing. A little bit still. Testing. Tiny bit more. All right, guys. Thank you for your patience. Got my candle lit. Tonight, we'll be talking about fallen angels. And my girlfriend, she helped me pick out that title tonight. And it's always good to be talking about the origins of fallen angels. You know, what's the real backstory? Who are these beings? Are these names even real? You know, do they have different races? And so this is coming from the Emerald Order point of view, which is these books and hundreds of videos that you can find that teach these spiritual science teachings. And so it's blocking my book a little bit, or Ashiana's book. Okay. Yeah, this is by Ashiana Dean. It's not her teachings. She's translating the Emerald Order teachings. That's who teachings they are, the Emerald Order teachings. She's a scribe, a translator for the CDT plates that they were originally on this. And these teachings that are also talking about the fallen angels and alien extraterrestrials have been on this planet in this seeding. This third out of, we're on the third seeding out of three, a couple 100,000 years ago. These super ancient texts originally came out of inner earth, and they're huge. So you can kind of speculate that why are they so big? Well, because they were giants, are giants in planes, dimensions like inner earth and Tara, 5D version of earth. And so these beings are ancient. These records are just mostly talking about how they have interacted with humans, including fallen angels such as those known as the Nephilim, Elohim, and Seraphim. And notice these three names are also mentioned in the book of the Christian Judaic Bible and in other scriptures of other religions. So there is some type of agreement that, hey, there is some dark frequency, energy, consciousness that a lot of us call fallen angels, a type of angel, because they're not all fallen. Obviously, there are positive angels, and there are fallen, negative, demonic angels. And it's the same thing with extraterrestrials. Even though those who are in religion think all aliens are demonic and fallen angelic, just so you know, well, first of all, humans themselves do not originate on Earth. So we ourselves are extraterrestrials. We come from a higher dimensional planet called Tara. We were seeded on this planet in the third dimension. So we too ourselves are extraterrestrials. So what are the animals to us? Other DNA templates, expressions of higher extraterrestrial, otherworldly beings. And not all aliens have 2 arms and 2 legs. You know, not all angels or whatever you're talking about. So let me get a drink of water here. You guys can see me and hear me okay? Can someone please write that in chat? Just so you guys know, we have Giannis is now using a different username. It's the same person. Christos Mission. Good to see you, Christos Mission. Let me say hello to everybody. Let me start my incense real quick. Wait, hopefully she doesn't care if I say that. She has the same picture though. And for some of you who don't know, my middle name is Christos. Krystos. That frequency is powerful. That frequency is universal. Thank you, Christos Mission. Appreciate that feedback. Thank you. I this weekend, the past 4 days, I had my twin flame with me, and everything was not in its normal place, so it took me. I was late today, you guys. That's why I was a little bit late. I'm sorry, but everything is okay. At least you got to chat with each other, hang with each other. I basically said everything I need to about the beginning. Almost everything I'm talking about will be mentioned in Voyagers, and one of the 2 Voyagers books, 1 or 2. Even they talk about angels. Look, it's called Angelic Realities. Same author, same translation from the original 200,000 plus Maharata texts. They're always on the CDT plates, but when they were put on paper, script or whatever form they had, it was not called CDT plates. They were called the Maharata text. And you will see in Voyagers, Maharata means inner Christos. Maharata. Just like ka, tha, ra. If you're familiar with these work, you know some of these words. Maharata. Inner Christos. You can name your pet Maharata. Name something, a username, Maharata. Inner Christos, baby, what's up? And as a matter of fact, you will start to realize, at least these teachings expose that religion itself was created by the fallen angels. It's not a holy scripture, you guys. It's an unholy scripture that takes you away from your Maharata, your inner Christos. It wants you're no longer looking within to your direct vertical connection to Source God. Now you're looking out here and worshiping, giving your energy freely to some being out in the matrix, the time matrix. And so that is a fallen angelic, you would say, source. And so that is something that we're going to be going more in detail. And I will explain how the religions are part of the fallen angelic agendas. How they will sprinkle some truth. You as a human in your heart and your mind will connect to some of the biblical teachings because some of it is true, but most of it is false lights teachings, false creeds. And I show those false creeds a lot. It says in the scripture, it's disconnected and it's reconnecting. Now it's reconnection successful. So now can you guys see me and hear me? Yeah, it says buffering because I disconnected for some reason. Let me close out my other windows. So yeah, it had buffered on me too, guys. So let me close that window, which has literally 60 windows open. Let me close that. And let me close out 20 more windows. And that should be enough. And so let me just do what they call a speed test. Speedtest.net tells you how fast your internet is currently. Go! I did say, go, please. Let me light, or I did light the incense. Man, it says 60, you guys, megabytes. I've had faster, but that's plenty, so I don't know what the deal was. There was nothing that's, I mean, this could be just, you know, some temporary issue. I'm laying down some incense, you guys, especially when you want to talk about these type of topics. Negative frequencies can flare. So we're going to put a buffer, a field around us. Almost got it here. Got to add some amber to this. Cleansing, protecting. Yeah, it was such a fantastic, wonderful, beautiful visit with my twin flame. We're really falling madly in love, and we're already talking about marriage, and it's this. Thank you to all of you who support us. I'm sure not everybody does, and that's okay. We're just going to keep on keeping it private. Machua. I'll say hello to everybody. Let's say hello to everybody. Jazzy Jazz, Jasna Didic 1208. Thank you for starting off the first donation, dear Starseed sisters. Thank you so much. Blessings to you. Yeah, excuse me. And I can't do this without you guys, and that really helps you guys. I'm so thankful. Wow, it's good to have you with us here, Jasna. Bless you, sister. Thanks, you guys, and anyone else who can help out tonight throughout this live. It really helps. It cuts off. It's still cutting off for you. Christos mission, is it still cutting off for you? Okay, so we have Lothar Hubert, 5691. Peace and good morning from Germany. Good evening to all. Omni Love, Bings, 1317 a.m. in Germany. Welcome, Germany. Much respect to you, Holy One. My normal time to go to bed. Say Machiwa Maharata, stay sinking as I can and sleep with you in the background. Much respect. Have sweet dreams, Lothar. Blessings. Thank you, Connor Sites Bowen. Appreciate that, brother. Good to see you, by the way. Nixer Dragon Rider, everyone. Peace to everyone. Emerald Order, Brenua, Kibra Shea. Money, respect, and blessings, Emerald Order. That's our kind of frequency, yeah? Jaden Luma 3117's greetings to you, Holy One. We got Sandra Payment, saying hello, Christos. Good to see you, Sandra. Woohoo! Excuse me. Indigo Wizard, Machiwa Tribe. Yes, Star Brother. Good to see you, man. We have Kristen Klein 3109 here for the knowledge. Good evening, all from Ohio. Welcome, Kristen. Good to see you. I am Coacher. Says hi, y'all. Charlin Howley 2038. Thank you. Peace and joy to you as well. Good to have you. Just in case, yeah, buffering. Hopefully that clears up tonight. Lauren Wisdom, Machiwa fam. I love you all. I'm not GNA, be in chat, but I'm listening. Good to have you. Thanks for listening. And you guys, I'm sorry about the missing Saturday, but I told you my reason. When me and my twin flame get together, we're just focused on each other. So I did post that I was missing Saturday's live though. So, and she was here with me in my house, not Las Vegas. So. Ah, brother, thank you, man. He said he's burning some amber I just received today from the interference. Oh, for the interference in the live. Thank you, Ender Wizard. And that number is powerful. 999. Yes! Machiwa! Yeah! Thank you, Indigo. Really appreciate that, man. And I really need it, you guys. Thank you so much. You know, we all do. It's holiday season time. So I'm sure a lot of you can feel it right now, right? Sir Madism is in the house. Welcome, brother. Woohoo! Good to see you, man. We got a lot of people who have been a member for over a year with us tonight. Celine, Star Sister. Yes, good to see you, Celine. Woohoo! Got our moderators in the house ready for any, could be some trolls in the house because of what we're talking about tonight. Usually there's all kinds of opinions, differing opinions in religion, in the occult, and in New Age about what is angels and fallen angels specifically. And so, if you guys notice, in the Bible, they don't really tell you how long ago angels were created or when they fell. In these teachings, they tell you both when angels were created. First, all of them were positive. Just like in the Bible, scripture, religion. They were once upon a time, yes. There was no Lucifer, a fallen angel. There was the morning star. And so it once was positive. Once all beings in the time matrix were following this sacred universal law of one. Not churches, not synagogues, not popes and priests, or anything like that. Spiritual knowledge is a frequency. It's something that is energy, consciousness. So the guardians, beings following omni-love, following equality, unity, law of one, the sacred universal law of one, not religions, not ET gods, not beings that are, not worshiping beings, calling themselves God. God, the real God, what we call Source. Source God does not call itself even God. Source God doesn't look like a male, doesn't look like a female. The Creator has no body, has no gender. That's a distortion from religions, which I told you at the beginning, were created by fallen angels. And we're not against spiritual beliefs, okay? What we do here is expose the teachings that are in religions and other types of spiritual beliefs that have distortions, as spoken about, as exposed by these Emerald Order freedom teachings, not by your brother Anuhazi. I'm a student of these teachings, like many of you are. And like many of you, I too align with these teachings, have even confirmed these teachings in my own journey. I confirmed avatars. I confirmed angels and archangels. I confirmed solar rishi, which are plasma, star beings. Suns, hot plasma, plasma body. I have seen collectives. I've confirmed that you aren't singular up there. You won't see individuals up there. You won't see gender up there. You won't see beings with names up there. It's frequency, consciousness, vibration. It's energy. Nothing is even physical anymore. Individuation ends. Gender ends. This is a whole different type of existence. This is why those higher dimensions, right? The people that are in the lower dimensions, like Earth, like humans, they put gender on divine beings. I just spilled some water. But these beings do not have gender. And when you open your vision, your higher consciousness, you don't need a book. You don't need a religion. You don't need some teacher or guru or pope to tell you. You can go check yourself. And many of us are. It's not a faith. It's not a belief. It's a cognizance, a knowing. You will have witness, you will have testimony, and also you will also have memory returned to you. Because in the spiritual journey, you guys, you activate what you already have, which is currently, presently dormant in the human genome. And so these teachings teach you how to run frequency, how to heal your distortions and the DNA, the mutations, and activate what's already there. And so when you activate higher DNA strands, those DNA strands have memory. And you will remember your past lives. Since we're so low, most of those lives are actually future lives. You will have a flood, like you will even hear Ashana speak about that memory recall. It's like video or movie playing in your mind. Those memories are playing in your mind because that is returning to you, your awareness again, from dormancy to active. OMG. Yes, now so many things in my life make more sense when you start to remember. And you will too see angels and fallen angels. You might call them aliens, or dark shadow aliens, or phantom aliens, the Guardians call them. A lot of religious people who just used to the religious vocabulary will call them demons. But spirits, demons, those words don't exist. They're just made up words by human minds that have no reference point, have no memory recall, have no witness, have no testimony. They're relying on, they're having faith in, they're believing in versus knowing that on other written records, instead of this direct vertical connection to those records, what some people will call Akashic records, but it is your own Akashic memory. It is your own family of consciousness, which is many. Every one of you, every one of us has not only a connection to God, but you have a family that it has a minimum of 1,728 other selves, a minimum. Those of us who are indigo children are on more missions, literally more incarnations, and that's why you can have 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 6,000 other selves, past lives, most of them future lives, from this point of view. Identities. All of those separate identities, some male, some female, most of them androgynous. No gender, that means no boobs, no genitals. No, I can't tell, is that a male or a female? It's both. Or neither, however you want to answer that. There is no gender. Gender was when they took an androgynous being and split it in half. Magnetic, electric, female, male. It's not the true form, the true consciousness. It's a polarization, a splitting of the whole. Now you're just a half as a male. You're just a half as a whole. This is not normal. This is not natural. You could say it's natural because the guardians knew how to split it, but just know it's not. You're not going to stay limited to being a partial version of yourself. And quite frankly, even if you were androgynous in the 7th dimension, that's still not your whole being, because you have your parallel self that is rising, ascending with you. And until you rise and ascend to, it's almost like male females are 1/4, 25% of your original, because 50% is a twin flame. 100% is your twin flame and your parallel. So we are ascending at the same time as our parallel antiparticle self, the guardians call it. So you're going to have androgynous selves on this side and androgynous selves on that side. So what happens is, like I said, the thing that we are similar to other spiritual teachings is that all of these angels, well, not Gnosticism. Gnosticism thinks that we were all started as dark. This is a lie. It's intentional distortion. You're purposely being taught that. Holy shit. My foot was in my incense almost. This is like a religion. Not just religions are being created by demonic fallen angelic beings, but so are New Age teachings, so are occult teachings. Also, I'm not saying all, most occult teachings, most New Age teachings, and almost practically all religions. Because religion is not natural, is not organic. Guardian beings don't go to churches and synagogues. They're not worshiping and being subservient to any life. We're all faces, you can call them fractals, of Source God, which has no gender, doesn't judge you, doesn't demand that you be in fear of it. That is coming from fallen angels, tonight's topic. And I don't need to spend a lot of time and just tell you. I'm just going to tell you from this perspective, the Emerald Order. I made a video about the Emerald Order today. Melchizedek, Cloister, Emerald Order, MCEO. MCEO, Melchizedek, Cloister, Emerald Order, talk about how these angels and archangels and fallen angels are extraterrestrials. Beings from other dimensions, other worlds. There's more than heaven, hell, and earth. That isn't a realm, by the way. I mean, that's part of a realm. Part of the 3rd dimension, and part of the 4th dimension, and part of a phantom dimension. But there's many dimensions, many galaxies and worlds and races of angels and archangels and fallen angels. Literal races. You don't hear that in the Bible. It talks about the angels in heaven and how 1/3 fell. That's it. You don't get no more information. about what they look like, about what they say, what they do. Maybe you can talk about Michael, Ariel, Gabriel, what duties they did or things they've done. But you're not learning about what they really, really look like, what these beings are coming from. What the guardians will tell you what planets they're from, what dimensions they're from, what they look like. I will even show you in these teachings where they're talking that way, teaching that. They talk about their DNA templates. They talk about their coalitions with other fallen angels. They talk about their agendas. They talk about even the family lines, or you would say human, hybrid, alien family lines that they put on Earth. What most people know as Illuminati family lines, but the guardians call them, they don't call them Illuminati. They call them, actually, it just skipped my mind for a second. It starts with an L. Somebody can put it in chat. They don't call them Luciferians though. I could just have to look in Voyagers 2 and look at the Neanderthal, because I know if you look at the page talks about Neanderthal, it will mention Leviathan. I just remembered it. It's Leviathan. The Guardians don't call them. They call them not Illuminati. They call them Leviathan. So there's many different Leviathan races from the different extraterrestrial races. There's Inky in the Illuminatis. Not just, you will get occult and New Age distorted narratives saying, oh, there's this line and this line and that line. Some will say there's only one Illuminati line. You guys, the Guardians mention over 50 different Leviathan Illuminati family lines that have been in Egypt, or they were in ancient Atlantis, or they were in Lemuria, or they were in, if I didn't mention Egypt, but different periods of time, like some of the Bible talks about the Tower of Babel or King Solomon. Okay, these are different fallen angel Illuminati lines, which are hybrids when they look like humans on Earth. This is one of the things that we're going to be talking about. You may not realize that some of these fallen angels, they're not trapped somewhere. They're not waiting to be trapped somewhere. They're still in UFOs. They're still in their planet. There aren't they're not all in hell, or what the Guardians don't call it hell either. They call it the Phantom Matrix. They speak in scientific, spiritual protocols or terminology. Phantom Matrix. There's an antiparticle matrix. There's a particle matrix. This is what they call hell, the Phantom Matrix. And so not all of these fallen angels have fallen yet that far. Some of them are still actively working in the antichristic agendas while they're in, let's say, Sirius A, or they're in, some of them are in inner earth, fallen angels. We don't use the word demons. You religious people use the word demons. It's a made-up word by religious mind. The religious consciousness. What are these beings? Who's attacking me? They're demons. Those are demons because the word of God says so. Jesus cast out demons. Jesus cast out fallen angelic consciousness. If you want to call it that Jesus, Joshua 9. Okay? There's no such thing as demons. When you see a reptilian, what a reptilian looks like, holy cow, it looks just like what religious people are calling demons. What religious people are calling demons are fallen angelic extraterrestrials. not the other way around, because I swear I will have my family talking to me in my face, telling me those aliens are demons. No, honey, you got it backwards. Demons have and always will be a negative alien, because they have no concept of alien. It doesn't exist in their unholy Bible, scripture, doctrine, dogma. Because the negative aliens don't want you to know about aliens. They want you to give these fairy tales of religions. It is their scripture. They wrote the scripture, and they have Illuminati puppets creating the scripture for them, possessing them, and writing the book. They can take over bodies just like they did nowadays, just like they did in Egyptian days. They knew how to get into bodies that an exorcist, a religious priest or prophet, will exorcise these energies out. You guys, even the guardians know how to they call it the boogie. I forgot how Oceana called it, because she remembers her incarnations from Egypt, of course. And the guardians, what they talk about getting the boogies out. Like Ghostbusters, getting the ghosts out of some place or some person. So, in order to understand Source God, even any extraterrestrial gods, in order to understand also angels and fallen angels, you need to know something about the context of reality, the context of creation, because you're not getting the truth or the full picture from religion or mainstream science. Science doesn't even know our reality. They know a small little smidgen, a little picture of reality. They see only one universe. They don't see dimensions like the Guardians or advanced aliens do. They call dimensions length, width, and height. Of course, the governments of the planet Earth will not admit time travel. So they don't emit temporal dimensions. That's what the Guardians refer to as dimensions. They're different dimensions of timelines. But they're also not just timeline dimensions, they're also matter density levels. So as you go in higher dimensions, you're going in different, less dense body forms. And so you'll go through a spiritual ascension, you'll have almost like a transparent body. When you ascend to a higher universe, a higher dimension, your body is less atoms. You have less, densification, less matter. We already, as carbon matter, even scientists know that most of an atom is emptiness. It's only got these tiny atomic or subatomic particles, and most of that is just empty space though. But according to Guardians, nothing is empty. There's no such thing as void. Let me repeat that again, because people will just freaking say some rude comments or whatever. There is no such thing as void. There is no such thing that is not alive. The entire reality that I'm about to explain to you is utterly, completely full of consciousness that is in a state of oscillation and vibration, is in a state of turning on and turning off and turning back on in particle or antiparticle. We are in a state of particle and a state of antiparticle. Any being who comes into the time matrix is polarized into particle and antiparticle. That is truly what polarization is. New Age uses this word for all kinds of purposes. It's a scientific word. Polarization doesn't mean you're negative and dark, honey. That's one of thousands of New Age lame, really lame teachings, dishonest, not very wise teachings. Polarization has nothing to do about darkness and light. It has to do with particles and antiparticles. That's what polarization is. Parallel and anti-parallel. Or parallel and particle. So we have, that's what polarize. All beings, all races come into the time matrix, the hologram field, and split into two parts. And those two parts will flash on here, flash off. And then it will flash on here, flash off, flash on, flash. This is how you will learn in the science spirit teaching such as Cathara. Cathara will teach you partikai phasing. This is partikai phasing. You exist here, don't exist here, because now you're here. Now you're not here, now you're here. Now you're not here, now you're here. You see your partikai phasing. And it has to do with these dimensions as two. All these dimensions have different frequencies that go through their own partikai speed phasing. How fast and how many different levels is the chain of if you really want to understand how that works, you guys will want to go into Cathara, and you can get the PDF. One of our moderators will share with you the Cathara Biospiritual Healing PDF. You see, you can't even heal yourself without knowing the context of creation. With the context of creation, which is the time matrix, 15 dimensional time matrix, then yes, you start to understand this spiritual science. You start to understand what is really God, what are really angels and archangels, what are fallen angels. So let me show that on the screen. Share it with you on Photoshop. And I'm also selling this diagram as a study tool. It helps you guys really understand a lot of these concepts that we make videos about. Let's maybe make. Thank you, Celine, sister. This is the 15-dimensional time matrix. It's a hologram field. And if you think it's a hologram, oh, it's not real? It's just a make-believe world? No, this is spiritual science, a science of consciousness. It's all the hologram is particles, ultra micro particles phasing, and those are all you would say all beings, all planets are made of these tiny ultra micro particles that are going through particle phasing, that are creating the hologram field, that are creating the 15-dimensional hologram field, hologram time matrix. And so all beings who come in here, you see, you're particle-based magnetic, mostly in the particle, and part of you goes into antiparticle base electric, oscillation, vibration, oscillation. And also the higher you go, the more oscillation you are. Of course, you're more oscillation on here, but on both sides, the higher you go up in ascension, the higher oscillation. So vibration is not good. Raise your vibration. It would be more accurate to say raise your oscillation. But that's what New Age wants to show you. Raise your vibration. Instead of that confusing, you could just say frequency. Raise your frequency. So, life will come in here, and like I said at the beginning, it all starts as good, positive, divine. It always has. The distorted teachings of Gnosticism tells you something about, this being came in called Sophia, came into the reality. They don't say time matrix. They don't say particle phasing. You're not going to... Sorry, I didn't do that. Mean to do that. Okay, so somehow I did a zoom in cut or something. But so the truth is that you're not born dark. And also the whole lie, and I do just straight up call it a lie, that you have to understand darkness to understand light. You guys understand what is now a false light system? Those are false light teachings. Wherever you're hearing that, either Gnosticism or some occult teaching or wherever, it's a lie. It's a distortion. It's not the truth of source God. You're not understanding creation. You're not doing a service if you're teaching that either. You're not understanding yourself if that's what you personally believe. You're not born in sin. What did I say about religion? It is religions were created by fallen angelic beings, extraterrestrial, malevolent races, bringing you religions. Metatron brings you religious teachings. Anu, Elohim, Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah, those beings are all extraterrestrial, malevolent extraterrestrials bringing you religions. It is not your brother Anuhazi, me, telling you this. I'm not making this up. Every single piece you see on this diagram comes from Voyagers 1, Voyagers 2, or some of the MCEO, Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order, MCEO teachings, video workshops, hundreds of videos, hundreds. It could take you a lifetime to watch them all. I doubt very seriously anybody here has watched all of the MCEO teachings or has read all of the MCEO PDFs. It's a lifetime of work. So this, you can just dismiss, you can transmute the twisted, distorted teachings like in Gnosticism that says you are bad, you are sinful, you are broken, you need help. You need the help of higher beings. Higher beings or angels, self-proclaimed archangels, are going to help you. A galactic federation is going to help you. These higher councils will help you because you can't help yourself. It is a lie, a fallen angelic lie. And it is my channel and not very many channels on the internet teaching you the lies of religion and New Age and teachings like Gnosticism and the occult. All trying to make you a greater being, a more awakened person, when all you're doing is getting entangled in the fallen angelic agendas. They're the ones who created it. Even nowadays, they're the ones running Galactic Fed. They trick the religions by giving you ET gods. Metatron is not really known as a god, but as an archangel, the most powerful archangel. It's a lie. It's not even exists as a being, as an individual. Metatron is a family, just like Smith or Jones, a family name. This is a family name. It is not a person. But guess what? It's not mentioned once in the unholy Bible. You don't believe me? Check. Because I have so many people trying to disprove the Emerald Order teachings and say, Metatron is an archangel. Show me the chapter and verse in the Bible. It's not mentioned once in the Bible. Where's Metatron coming from? Occult, Jewish mysticism. Not from the Chinese, not from Viking teachings, not from any other teachings. Specifically, Metatron comes from Jewish mysticism. But you will see all kinds of New Agers. American New Agers, European New Agers, it doesn't matter. They're going to take the Jewish teaching of Metatron and start making some shit up. Saying that Metatron was Enoch. You know, Enoch is part of that Jewish religion, Judaic teachings, right? It comes from the Jewish Kabbalah, homies. Metatron is not good. It's not a person. It's not an archangel. And by the way, what is an archangel? It's not very high. Yet you see how high archangels are? But supposedly, Sophia, or these archangels like Archangel Metatron, and they're the most powerful beings in the universe. Bullshit. I call BS on your lame ass fallen angelic teaching, anti-Christic teaching. This is Archangel, homie. You're not even very high, homie. You got Dimension 10, Dimension higher avatars. These are avatars higher than your freaking supposed Archangel Metatron. You got Buddhic avatars. You got Nirvanic avatars. Particum Rishi, Partikai Rishi, Partike Rishi. You have Ascended Master Geomantic Entities level 1. You got Rishi Matrix Entities level 2. And Eckhar higher than your supposed, and I do say supposed because you got some huge freaking distortions when you're combining Kabbalah with your New Age from the third dimension. And it's like these people don't do their homework, homies. You're not doing your homework. Where does Metatron really originate from? Even in your teachings, I have to sit here and point out some things in your own beliefs. In your own beliefs, you're thinking it's a Christian idea or a New Age idea. It's a Kabbalah. Mysticism, occult Jewish thing. And it's only from a few hundred years ago, or at the turn of after Jesus' supposed Joshua 9's period of time. Do your homework, homies. So, even the occult Talmud or the Kabbalah is a distortion. So they too don't even know what is really Metatron. Metatron comes from outside the time matrix. Metatron is a Ramayanus Ascended Master family originally. It doesn't come from Jewish teachings. It doesn't come from freaking Yahweh, Jehovah, which is an Anu Elohim race. It doesn't come from the Jewish God either. It's coming from an Ascended Master group that fell. They came into the time matrix as light, just like all life does, just like all Ascended Masters originally do. But when this group, this Ramayanus Ascended Master group called Metatron came into our family, they created a race. They're from the Elohai Blue Flame family. Okay? Metatron was originally one of the founders, one of the Elohai founders. And I'll show you. Elohai created two races. They created the feline Anuhazi and the Anu, both following the law of one, both following Source God's original intention, both following the Emerald Covenant, which is their original contract that all life agreed to do when they come in here. They all agreed to the Emerald Order, Emerald Covenant. And it just so happens that Metatron is from the blue flame. Other beings, other guardians come from the gold flame or the violet flame. But when we're talking about Metatron, it came from the blue flame. A blue flame family that helped create the Anu. That's who Metatron is. Nothing to do with Jewish people on earth. Look, this is the 11th dimension, homie. Has nothing to do with 3D scripture and Bibles and stuff. Or the Talmud or the Kabbalah from the third dimension. Much respect to the original Metatron. Okay? Much respect to these guardians who created life in our time matrix called the Anu. And notice this word Anu sounds very familiar to some New Age narratives out there. Doesn't it look a little bit familiar to the Sumerian father god called Anu? It is this blue flame family blessed guardian groups. And notice they're called feline aquatic apes. And the Anuhazi are feline hominids. So they were once upon a time the Metatron consciousness, the Metatron collective would start to go into the bodies of these Anu feline aquatic apes and walk in the world. Some of those Elohai families would go into the feline extraterrestrial race. And to be accurate, angels don't exist yet. Remember? They're not in density 4. They're in this density. Archangels are. So you see how twisted and distorted this whole Metatron idea is. So Metatron is a family of consciousness originally called Anu, somehow got into the Sumerian storylines. Because this is where Metatron and Yahweh and Elohim and Father God concept comes from. You know, this is where the Anunnaki come from. This is where the Penis Club comes from, where they say God's a male. And it says specifically, look, I'll switch to the PDF. You think I'm making something up when I say feline aquatic ape, Anu. It's in the Guardian teachings. It's not coming from me. I'm a student of these teachings. Let me open both Voyagers 1 and Voyagers 2. And share that on the screen. Sorry if my voice gets a little tense sometimes. I'm just passionate about this. It's not anger or anything like that, you guys. If you're new and you think that. So I use the search thing on this PDF and put on you. The Guardians don't call it Anu. It's on you. You see the distortion already. 10. It says you can't, maybe you don't see this, but it says 10 examples of it. Sorry for the loud noise. Emerald Order, Elohai, what I showed you in my diagram, blue flame. The blue flame. Okay? Oh, I made a mistake. I said Ramayanas, so it's actually Grandiyamas. So that makes it even worse that they fell. How could this Grandiyanas family fall? Let me show you Grandiyanas. I skipped it, right? Yeah. Okay, I said Ramayanas. It's actually higher, at the highest level, called the Grandiyanas. So Metatron, which is part of something called, I put it here in the diagram. Fallen Ascended Master Group. Giovanni, yeah, the Giovanni Collective. They're part of a greater family called Giovanni. So the Metatron is part of Giovanni, but Giovanni itself didn't fall. The Metatron fell. So, and Metatron is the one who created those races. So let me switch it back. Grandiyanas family. Okay, so they created the Anuhazi, like I said, the feline hominids. So I'm not making anything up. The cat people. The Christos founders, baby. And remember I told you religion doesn't tell you how old our creation reality is. They say, oh, it's created in 7 days. This was created 950 years ago, homie. The Anuhazi was created at the same time as the Anu. It's hard to find sometimes because it's not italicized. Well, what the crap? Let me just put on you. I did put on you. And it even tells you what planet the Anu came from. Planet Avion, Stargate 11, SG-11. The Christos founders are... No, real. Why in the world is it not showing me? It is. I just didn't see it. It's not italicized like all the other races are. Feline, aquatic, ape. I'm not making anything up. So I made these art depictions of the feline aquatic apes who are from, remember I told you, they tell you, the Guardians tell you what dimension they're from, D11. They tell you what they look like. Okay, they tell you what DNA template they have. They tell you the history, how they fell from planet Lyra Avion, but they fell, became the Anu Elohim, fallen angelic race line. We're talking about extraterrestrials. We're talking about beings who fell from a higher dimension or fell into the Phantom Matrix. But this is a mistake. This is a typo. It's literally billion, not million. The Anunnaki were created around this time. But the actual fall happened 250, and I will show you the corrected, not the misprint. But let me see. I will continue with the word Anu, a feline aquatic ape founder race. They were once upon a time a guardian founder race. The Anu were a guardian founder race. And if it was 250 billion years when they fell from this, that was 700 billion years ago. Okay? So they got along, Mr. and Mrs. Gnostics out there. There wasn't always evil. It happened recently compared to this number, 250 billion years ago. Oh, wait a second. I see why they're not showing it in the blue flame, how they fell. Oh, this is farther in the book. It's page 248. Never mind. The feline aquatic apes, the Anu race from Lyra Avion, also suffered digression. That means they started to fall in their consciousness. They started to become something other than their original race. And it goes into the whole history of the Guardians wanted to rehabilitate, and they refused. And they will, but this is talking about the fallen period of time. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but let's go back to the PDF. Check on chat. Okay, so this is the original background of how everything was good and blessed until 250 billion years ago, where this Anu fell and became the Anu Elohim, but also how the Omicron fell and became the fallen Seraphim. This is the fallen Elohim. Fallen Elohim. This is the Omicron is gold flame. Okay, Anu Elohim come from the blue flame races. The reptilians, the insectoid races, the bird races, and the avian reptilian races, well, those races come from the gold flame. Two of them fell, as you can see. Omicron and Odedicron. Insectoid dino reptiles, also nicknamed dragon moths, and avian reptilians. These beings fell, these extraterrestrials fell, became fallen angels, not demons. That's a religious word, but you can use the word demonic, fallen angelic, because that kind of represents their consciousness, their polarity, or you could say alignment. That's more accurate, their alignment. So, but it is the Omicron who started to fight the Anu Elohim, the original Anu. So the blue flame clashed with the gold flame. This is why you'll see a list of blue flame races on this diagram, blue flame races, and a list of the gold flame fallen races. Not just the Omicron, but the races they created. The Omicron dragon moths created Dracon dragons. I'll say that again. Dragons come from a fallen angelic creation. I'm not making this up. Remember? Omicron fell, created a race called Dracon, and this children race created another hybrid with humans called Dracos. These are the beings who can shapeshift on our planet and look like president, look like a CEO, look like an Illuminati. Those are dragon reptilian races, baby. And then you got the chupacabras called the falzants. See, it's an Omicron plus an Odedicron, both fallen angelic mammal beings. You got the Azazel, blue human reptiles. That's an Omicron plus one of the Zeta races, Zephalim. So Zephalim plus the Omicron dragon is this weird creature, a blue human reptile called Azazel. This is where you are getting demonic beings, so-called demonic beings. This is where you're getting gods from. This is where you're getting creatures and monsters from these lineages, such as winged reptilians, Mothman, anyone? Such as beetle reptilian insectoids. And I will be showing you what kind of religions they have created for you to follow. What type of occult systems they created for you to follow. What type of New Age systems they created to follow. Bad guys pretend to be good guys. These are insectoid reptilian serpents. They're the ones that help make Inky and Thoth. Insectoid reptilian serpent. Let's look now at Inky. Sorry for the cars outside from Saturday night, you know. What is Inky and Thoth? A humanoid, insectoid, reptilian serpent. What is Enlil? A scaled reptile hominid. You notice they're all considered Luciferian by the Guardians. Marduk, what's a Marduk? It's an insect hominid. It doesn't have arms and legs, or maybe, I don't know. I guess when you... Actually, I made this with arms and legs because it's been described as, in certain parts of the Voyager's books, you have Marduk, regular Marduk, then you have Marduk Satan, a family. Marduk Draymond, another family. You know, just like Metatron's a family, just like Inky's a family, just like Enlil's a family, but you New Agers and occultists are going to swear your own soul to these legions of fallen angels. You're going to say your truth and your occult systems and your Kabbalah and your religious, twisted religions. This is truth. This is what you're spreading in your social media. And this is what I'm exposing in my social media. This is what the Guardians are exposing in the books and videos. Marduk makes some other races. The dark-haired humanoids, not human. Insect serpents. But people love serpents. People love dragons. People love any of these races, actually. People love Archangel Michael. It's not even a real being. Just like Metatron is not a real person. This is not a person. It's a family. A collective. Do you know what that is? Do you know the difference between a collective and a person? Do you know the difference between a person and a family? Right? No? Yes? No? Because you're still calling these beings like Metatron and Marduk and Inky a person. Oh, it's a brother. It's some dude from the Sumerian days. It was worshipped by the, and you will get people writing me, trying to talk about how these beings are helping humans. Lucifer is helping humans. Satan, it was misunderstood. He's helping humans, and it's a he. Inky's a he. You know, there's no females. They don't like females. Females, they're just playthings in their point of view. There's something you can, you know, even young generations, you pass around their girlfriends to other guys. So freaking disgusting. I know some of you are into that. Here, my girlfriend's hot. You want some of this? You know, treat the female like an object. It's part of divine feminine, baby. What's up? This is the patriarchy club bringing you this garbage, bringing you this inequality. It is fallen angelics and their religions, their occult systems, their new age systems for you to get entangled with, and now you're pushing these narratives. I hear these narratives regularly, time and time again, in comments in my videos, and you guys can guarantee in 48 hours, in 3 days, you're going to see some of these occultist comments, some of these New Ager comments defending Archangel Michael, defending Metatron, defending Enlil, and quoting a bunch of garbage, quoting a bunch of shit about how wonderful Inky and Enlil or Marduk is, and how wonderful things they have done for humans. Okay, so let's show you some of the forbidden history that Inky, Enlil, Marduk, Metatron, Yahweh, Allah, Enlil, or who's the other god? Well, some people call it Jehovah. Some people call it Thor or Thoth. Or the goddesses like Isis or, you know, Ishtar. They praise them and talk about how wonderful they are. Guardian beings do not worship. Guardians know what these ET gods are. They know what the garbage that Gnostics are teaching. They know the distortions. They expose the distortions in this book, and they expose them in here. They dispose them in here. Not me. I didn't make this up. There's 600 pages. There's 300 pages, and there's a couple hundred pages. The Guardians talk about this. This is where you will resonate with this or not. Maybe a pissed off, angry God resonates with you. It does with my family. Maybe some of your family. It's about hell. It's about sacrifice. It's about blood. Maybe that feels good to you. And people will threaten that you're going to go to the lake of fire. You're going to be judged by God, Jesus, or, you know, or they're going to list, copy and paste something about how wonderful Thoth is, like Billy Carson, or how wonderful Inky and Enlil, like Zachariah Ascension. Okay, this is their bulk of their knowledge that they're pushing. Going into sacred records, like people are calling the Bible sacred. They're saying these tablets of Thoth are sacred. They're buried and old. They must be true. So let's look at the forbidden history. What they actually say about Inky Anunnaki. It's a race. It's a family. Inky are, I don't even have to look at any notes. They are insectoid reptilian serpents. Enlil is part Omicron, part Anunnaki. Okay? Marduk is part Zeta, part Anunnaki. Okay, so they took some reptilian races and mixed them with Anunnaki races. Now they're Anu reptilians. Part Anunnaki, part reptilian, part blue flame, part gold flame. Most of the violet flame races are peaceful, but in my own opinion, I believe centaurs are part violet flame because horses are violet flame. Pegasus are violet flame. What is a centaur? Part horse. It's part violet flame. Just like Anu, Elohim, is part blue flame and actually part violet flame. Remember, they're on planet Avion. That's the violet flame planet. There's 3 founder planets that all races originate from the founder races. The founder races of the blue flame. Anu and Anuhazi. The founder races of the gold flame. Ceres, Odedicron, Omicron, and the Athean. They also have dinosaurs that are part of the dragon reptilian races. But it's not a founder's race though. And the violet flame has Pegasus and Inu, which are whale. What do they call them? Porpoises, dolphins, and whales. Or aquatic apes, or the aquatic dolphins, or the aquatic, those are the main races. Those are all of the original races that came out of 3 planets. Those original races, which is the templates of all aliens. ALL. All aliens get their DNA from one of these 10, or a mixture of these 10 founder races that originate from Lyra. The Guardians say all life, because these founders came in from Lyra. Armatena, blue flame. Planet Vega, gold flame. And planet Avion, violet flame. But it had the Avion on it too. So Avion, Anu, and Armatena, Anuhazi, they started to, actually the gold flame and blue flame started to clash. And so this was 250 billion years ago. The Omicron, reptilian dragon moths, and the Anu Elohim. Anunnaki don't exist yet. The Anu Elohim are the ones who create later, much later than 950 billion years ago. They create the Anunnaki. They don't exist yet. Humans don't exist yet. So these 3 planets created the founder races that created all the other races in the time matrix. But it was these first big guardian founder races fought each other. The Omicron and the Anu Elohim crashed. They're like competing gangster races, competing fallen angelic races. And because the Anu Elohim were part violet or blue flame, they ask, please, Anuhazi. The Anu Elohim asked the Anuhazi for help to murder. They're asking guardians to murder in their mentality. Please wipe out the Omicrons. They're spreading. But they also are spreading and killing and taking over planets. But their family, they're asking their family, the higher Lyran Anuhazi. But you will see that talked about here in Voyagers 2. So PDF. I'm just checking real quick, guys, sorry. And making sure there's nothing wrong with chat. And this is what this is literally talking about. See, it was corrected. It was 250 billion years ago, not million. Okay? 250 billion years ago. This is Voyager's 1 still. I'm just showing you guys. I've read, studied this so much that I know that one incident was just a typo. Because, I'm sure Ashiana had to go through all of this and correct it as best as she could. So, you have to proofread the book that you write, And she's dealing with lots of years in this. So, they're from 950 billion years ago. But they started falling, and I'll just put that number in here. Let me go to the top. This is way page 250. I'll put 250 to get this story. 250 million. That's the typo. Now we go farther. 250 billion. And this is where they started creating all these guardian races because of the fall. Because of the fall 250 billion years ago, is when they made the IAFW. And after they made this huge interdimensional association of free worlds, they made something called the Density 5 Master Ionic Council 250 billion years ago. And also the Azerite Temple Security King 250 billion years ago. And the Guardian Alliance. But this was much earlier. And it was made by those higher groups, the IFW. This was only less than 1 billion years ago, you guys. But these other groups are super ancient. The Azerite Universal Security Team. Notice that word, Azerites? Azerites were created 250 billion years ago. Much older than humans or Orifim. And the Ionic Master Council tells you which beings are part of that. Members of the Master Ionic Council are the Sirius B Azerites, the ones who are part of the Azerite security team. Of course, the Azerites are going to be part of the Master Council. Interesting. So that's also you get this word Syrian Council from. I pointed this out before, you guys. Remember when the horrible thing that the Anu Elohim did is they destroyed the Guardian's planet, Armentana. So in density 4, Armentana does not exist, or you could say in the 12th dimension it doesn't exist. Because dimension 11 Stargate was backed up into the 12D Stargate, which was on Armentana. So surely Armentana should exist in the 10th and the 9th dimension. Well, if that's confusing, let me show you. Stargate 12 is in the 12th dimension. But Armentana exists in the 10th, 11th, and 12th dimension. Armentana exists in the 10th and 11th and 12th, but it doesn't exist anymore in the 12th dimension, or it didn't. It would still exist here and here because it was inside of the explosion. So it took the Guardians 1 million years to fix Stargate 12, SG-12, USG, Universal SG-12, and so that's also in the Voyager's books. I'm not making that number up. It took them 1 million years to fix it. So this Anu Elohim and the Omicron had 1 million years to go on a freaking murder spree, a conquering spree, and these beings fled Vega and went to the Orion systems. So a lot of these beings are coming from the Orion system. The original Omicron, their children race, the Dracon, they put them on Alpha Draconis. And Dracos are also, well, these are Earthlings. They were created on Earth, remember? But the Dodecron also an Orion system. But of course, all the Zeta Gray aliens, the Zephyr races, Zeta Reticuli, Zeta Regalian, Retulia, Curandara, Aldalfi, they're all in Orion systems, but it also tells you if they're not, like Phantom Alpheratz, that's an Andromeda apparently, a planet. If a planet shows it has a phantom indication, that means that planet, or at least part of it, fell. And that's where the Delphi are coming from the phantom matrix. Just like Earth can exist in the particle living universe, well, the fallen part of Earth is going to fall into the phantom anomaly. So this is for Gnostics. And they're going to hate me or dislike me and write, their distorted nonsense in my comments, but let them. We're transmuting it. The more they send to us, the more I'm sending back to them and all you other guardians out there who are exposing this nonsense and these false light systems. Gnosticism has some truth, just like religions have some truth. That's what the fallen angels do. They sprinkle some truth. They're not going to give you 100% bullshit. They're going to give you about 80% bullshit and maybe some 20% truth. That's how they trick you. That's how they fool the human heart and mind. Because your human spirit will recognize the truth, but accept the rest of it. So yeah, Gnostics speak some truth, but most of it is twisted garbage. Coming from dark souls, dark avatars, dark oversouls, dark incarnates, from the phantom realms and phantom planets. Like Phantom Planet. Well, where was it? Phantom Planet Alpheratz or whatever. Well, I showed you on my diagram. So I was going through the councils and the security team. This all happened 250 billion years ago. 250. This is more discussion on that. So let me not just go ahead. 250 billion years ago. And some of these, this is saying that it started 250, but it's been going on and on and on for almost 249 billion years. Because it ended around 570 million, the major war. A series of wars that they call the Lyran Elohim Wars. Because it wasn't Lyra and it was the Anu Elohim who took the first punch. You can say. They're the ones that were complaining and trying to get the Anuhazi felines to help them. The High Council to help them. Of course the Guardians say, you too are causing chaos. You too are going through some distortion. So the Guardians said no to them, of course. That's an anti-Christic thing that they wanted the Guardians to do. And so because the Guardians didn't give them an answer that the Lyran Elohim wanted, they attacked the Guardians. But there's a whole story behind that the Guardians allowed them to destroy SG-12. If I have time, I'll try to talk about that. I'm going to go down this 250 billion year history. Following the destruction of SG-12, during the Lyran Elohim Wars 250 billion years ago, this is when fallen angels were created. Or you could say, that's when it happened. That's when once upon a time, blessed Guardian Anu and the blessed Omicron, once upon a time they were good. Well, that's where they fell and started attacking even the Guardians. So the Yanis, Ascended Masters, and the Emerald Order Brenoa, which are the Blue Flame Elohai, and their Elohai feline Anuhazi races as the universal security team in our time matrix. So we didn't need security. I got to get this point through, man. You're not born You're not part dark. You don't need to understand dark to understand light. That is light inversion. That's false creeds. That's what Gnostics teach. That's what Christianity teaches. That's what Allah, God, Muhammad, that religious teachings teach. And many, countless religions teach. That you're born, something's wrong with you, and you need help from higher beings. And guess who these supposed higher beings are? Beings like Metatron, beings like Thoth. I'm only listing the most famous ones. There's obviously much more. And I know I'm going to get messages. I know I'm going to get questions. And before you guys send your question for, is this person dark? Is this person dark? Let me ask you, is that person that you're asking about teaching the inner Christos? Is it teaching you about galactic federations and galactic councils and savior programs? Not just Jesus is a savior program. There's many rescue saving programs out there, and Galactic Fed is one of them. They're supposed to save us because there's something wrong with us, and we need help from the councils or from an archangel like Metatron or Archangel Michael. Because once upon a time it's an El thing, an Elohim thing, a Jewish thing. Now it's a New Ager thing. Now New Agers have taken other beliefs here and the belief here. Oh, that looks good. That's tasty. Let me take some Inky. Let me take some Zachariah Ascension. That looks good. Let me take some of that and make my own belief. Now I made my own gods and my own beliefs and my own identities. God's not an opinion. And God doesn't have fear-based teachings. God is not judging. God does not require a blood ritual sacrifice. God is not putting down females. Okay? This is what the false light systems, and when you hear that word, false light, where's false light coming from? Not from smart humans. Where is false lights coming from? It's coming from off-world, extraterrestrial, malevolent, fallen angelic races. They want you worshiping. They want you to not remember who you are. So they tell you they made you. The fallen angelic Anunnaki are telling you they made you. Now you got spaceships coming from outer space coming to save us. Is that right? A lot of you now, this is the new idea. This Atlas ship, mothership, is going to rescue you and help you ascend. Thoth, the fallen angelic, inky, hermetic teacher, is going to save you. The Galactic Federation is going to land and save us. You guys, no one can help you with your ascension. No spaceship coming is going to help you. No archangel is going to help you. Remember what an archangel is? It's a middle level being. This is why you can take apart Gnosticism, man. Because they have so much confusion and contradiction in there. But certain people are really waking up. They're really seeing through the lies, the false light systems. They can see that, whatever that freaking Atlas ship thing is, they can see that as a BS narrative, one of many. And I even heard Ashana, our teacher, say that if you see a ship land, it's not a guardian. It's a galactic fed. What all this secret space program information is surrounded around this federation. There's a super federation. What is this? Yeah, I really, have had a lot of experience now with this type of topics in false light systems. So I can really talk about it. I can really articulate it. And so I welcome all of those twisted, distorted comments, because it gives guardians, all of you guardians out there in social media, who are brave enough, who are strong enough, who are protected enough, you can transmute. That is our job. We came incarnated here into these hybrid bodies so we can transmute the fallen angelic religions, the fallen angelic occult systems, Kabbalah systems, Talmud systems, so we can expose the New Age systems, the occult systems, like your brother Anahazi is doing. It is my joy to be in this currency, this frequency of the true light and the true intention of God. Me and my family and my friends, my twin flame, my children, my future children, we're going to be encoded with Source God. We're going to be servants to others as guardian beings. We're going to represent light. We're going to recognize from miles away any type of false teaching, false prophets, false people trying to come into our groups, come into our chat, come into our memberships even, you're into our retreats. You're going to have people trying to interrupt this frequency, this connection. We're going to stand, and what is one of the 12 attitudes of mastery? We're going to stand in fearlessness, not fear. All of those false teachings are based on fear. And twisted, inverted. They take our names, our teachings, and try to work them. They twist them intentionally. This is why it's intentional. This is why it's a lie. This is why it's a hoax. Which side are you standing on, Holy Ones? Which teachings are... Somehow I did that. Oh, it's just got to be refreshed. Let me ask you, all of you who can hear this question, what are you speaking? Wait, why is it doing this? I'm sorry, guys. My glasses hit my keyboard, and so my keyboard hit something else. Oh, it put on Photoshop. So, which one are you speaking? Which one are you thinking in your mind and your heart? These false light systems? What do you think being entangled in a false light system is doing to your ascension process? Let me ask you this question, New Agers. What do you think of reversed Merkabah is doing to your ascension? What is it doing to your health? When you're teaching inverted principles, not the Christ, the real Christos, not the true source God, but some malevolent extraterrestrial God pretending to be source. There's only one creator, baby. Why is there 4,000 plus creator gods on earth being worshipped? Why? Why? I ask you guys. And if you Google, sometimes it's more than 4,000 different religions. If you have 4,000 different religions, and most of those are teaching multiple gods, that comes into like over 30,000 plus gods on planet Earth being worshipped throughout history. These are 33,000 different Luciferian, satanic, false ET gods. They have come to Earth. Let's show you what the Guardians are saying, what they have done 50,000 years ago, what these beings have done 30,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, what these beings that you love have been doing, the atrocities they have done. You know, one of the things I can tell you guys, humans used to be immortal on planet Earth. They certainly were in Human Seeding 1. I think it was in Human Seeding 2 where the Marduk Anunnaki and the help of the other Nubarian races took Battlestar Nibiru and just twisted Earth's magnetic field Earth's grids became distorted. 2/3, majority of life, of the grids. You're on the planet that has messed up grids, you're no longer immortal. Now humans go through aging, sicknesses, diseases, cancers, viruses, death. Now we go through the mortality phase, when we used to be immortal on Earth, not just Tara, Gaia, Armentana. We used to be immortal on Earth. It's in the records. It's in our forbidden history. You're not allowed to know that history. Remember? They don't want you to know your true self. They're scared to death of humans waking up their 12D, 12 strand. They will do everything in their power to twist Christ, to change the message of the Christos. They want you to think in a false Christ, a false Christos. Now billions of humans are literally worshiping phantom, speaking phantom, living, thinking phantom. What does that do to your ascension? To your reincarnation? What's really going on? You call yourself a believer. You call yourself a chosen one. You ain't no chosen one. You're not going to heaven. You don't even know what heaven is. You don't know what reality is. You don't know what God is. You still think it's some angry, pissed off extraterrestrial. Of course, you don't know it's an ET. You think it's a man with a beard, some guy on a throne, some dude. And there's no divinity in that heaven. There's just Jesus and some dude named Yahweh and the Holy Spirit. Where's the mother? Where's the sister? Where's the female? Oh no, it was created later, after man. Bullshit. Claim bullshit. Indigo called BS. Right? You beautiful, wonderful, powerful women in the world. Rise, holy ones, sisters. And you, brothers, rise in equality. You're not a chosen one. We're blessed ones of light, bringing in the true light, not false light. Because the real light is going to call out the false light. That's what you just heard tonight. So you heard some of that tonight. People claiming truth. People claiming ascension. Claiming being saved. What's up, holy ones? I'll look at the donations first, you guys. And I wanted to say thank you to you, everyone who donated on last week when I had my interview with Ismail Perez. I'm looking at Ismail. I'm talking to him, having an interview. I can't look at and stare at the chat, but I wanted to ask one of my moderators, like Celine, or I know she's called Christos Mission now. Oh, if one of you guys could tell me, and someone did. Thank you, sister. You want to poll? Oh, that helps a lot. Thank you, Star Sister, Christos Mission. Oh, I'm looking at last week's questions. November 25th questions. A host matrix is, okay, I will get to those questions. Let me just say thank you to all those who donated. And thank you for doing that, Christos Mission. Indigo Wizard. After Indigo Wizard was Christos Mission, Star Sister. Thank you, sister. Thank you so much for your support. Bless you. She got the little... Is that like a peach? Thank you, Star Sister. Thank you. She's always been supporting this work. and she's a member for over a year. I don't know how long you guys have been if you got the star, the annual star. Maybe I should make a 1.5-year star and a 2-year star, right? Yeah. Thank you, Christos Mission. Enlatin also donated. Woohoo! Much fam, or Machiwa fam, much love. Thank you, Enlatin. Another regular donator, Enlatin 369. Woohoo! Thank you for the 999. Yes! I was born on 9/9. I'm sure I saw another 9 somewhere on my B-day. Is it Armiendis? 2547 became a member. Welcome, Angel. Thank you for being here with us and joining this wonderful family, as you will hopefully see in chat. Stephen Oswald, woohoo! Keep it up. I will, brother. I will, man. This is my life's mission, and even my twin flame has expressed an interest in being part of this. You know, religions call it a mission, or no, they call it what do they call it? I don't know. I just know that. Can you guys imagine 2 twin flames working together side by side? And this is a Christic mission. We're not going anywhere, okay? We're going to be actually bring a lot of us together. That's part of my mission, and especially with sisters like Rihanna. Even though she's in New Zealand, we're still going to make sure we can all come together someplace in the world. And people like our sister in Sedona, Dara, Kasha, and our brother Indigo's even trying to help out, and Celine, I'm sure Stardust Goddess, we're going to do our best to bring more and more of us together, you guys. It's not about just some of us. It's about all of us and who want to be part of this. Just so you guys know, after Thanksgiving, when I get back from my family, I don't celebrate the American idea of Thanksgiving. I'm just going there to visit family because that's when some family comes together. It's an opportunity also to see my daughter, which I don't see because she lives so far away. So I see her sometimes. But after Thanksgiving, we're going to announce and talk about Sedona Part 2. We need to start thinking about it and saving up. All of us need to start saving up money for Part 2. And so keep posted about that for those of you who are interested. Just know, you guys, we're new to this, organizing a planned retreat. So we have to put some type of questions and answers. We want to make sure that you guys are legitimately interested in the teachings and know something about the teachings. I'm not like an expert, but basically about your character. Are you Christic? Are you into unity? So maybe the next group will be around 15 people. Maybe the most 25 people, but it's going to grow from there. We're going to start small, but we're going to get big like some of these other people. But we're not doing the same thing as them. We're keeping it more personal, where we're doing stuff together and still talking about the inner Christos teachings. So look out for that, you guys. Thank you so much. After Thanksgiving. Leonardo Luna, yes, 1111, another powerful number. Thank you so much, Leonardo. Bless you and your support. And he also made a message. Much love to all my Christos family. Thank you, Brother Anhazi, for sharing this space with us. We'll be coming back to see the replay. Woohoo! Thank you, Leonardo. Bless you. Excuse me. And I also like to watch the replay. Just so you guys know, it takes about 24 hours for YouTube to finish processing the what do you call it? The wording, the SRT file, I call it, but it's called the closed captions. It takes about 24 hours, sometimes less. Thank you so much, Leonardo. And there was a question about, hey, could you inform me of what a host matrix is? Yeah, this is something that the Guardians talk about, and one of the host matrices was done in some of the early Human Seeding 1, Human Seeding 2, where one of the first host matrices was the Hebrews. It was actually a host matrix for one of the star seeds. The Hebrew starseed, which is bringing in that white skin and their consciousness, their specific consciousness, and the Hebrew starseed brings in the white skin. The Atlantean starseed, called the Breno, are bringing in the red skin. The Antrian Lemurian starseed is bringing in the brown skin. And the future races that come after the Hebrews are the yellow skin Muvarians. And then there's a way future race called, who are mostly the black skin, are called the Uniceti. But the first host matrix was they needed to help the Hebrews. So they take some of the Hebrews and take some of the Melchizedeks. We didn't mention them. They're the ones bringing in the yellow skin. So we take the Melchizedeks and help heal the Hebrews. 2 starseeds. That creates a Hebrew. The original Jewish people. They didn't stay that way, but that was a healing matrix to get the Melchizedek to heal the Hebrew distortions. Another relative type of healing matrix is indigo children type 3. The Orifim indigo is help healing the Nephilim, fallen angelic DNA, from 11 strand to a Christic 12 strand. So a host matrix is another word for a healing DNA matrix. You're trying to heal your DNA. So those bodies, DNA bodies, the fetuses that become birthed and grow up, now the soul essence won't have a distorted experience. Now it can grow and stop being fallen angelic, stop being demonic, stop being fear-based, stop being, trying to conquer and control, manipulate, stop being narcissists, start being psychopaths, stop being criminals. That's what they're supposed to, that's what the host matrix is. It's an agreement. In religion, you're unforgivable and go to the lake of fire forever if you don't follow their blood ritual sacrifice. They're the ones. It is the false light religions saying that you cannot change. According to the guardians following Source God and the sacred law of one and teaching from the inner Christos, no, honey, you want to change? You're more than welcome to. There's some famous people who did this. Obviously, Thoth was an Inky Anunnaki. He did this once upon a time and became trusted by the guardians. Of course, he broke that trust later, and it's even in Voyagers. It's even in some of the teachings that Ashiana made videos about. Enoch is the same kind of guy. He flip-flop a few times. Was good, was not so good, was good. He had to do host matrix to be healed. There was a bunch of Luciferian, Nibirian, Pleiadian, Inky, Enlil, Necromatons. Some of them were getting a host matrix too, but most of them end up breaking it. I think most of them are trying to trick the guardians so they can be good for a little while and then take some shit and then now that will help their real cause. So that's what a host matrix is. Thank you. Good question, by the way. And if you have Voyagers 1 or 2, just look Control F if you're on computer or search find host matrix and you'll go to a part of the book that explains it. Kimberly Hop Walker, I would like to understand more about Inky and Enlil. I don't know how long ago you wrote that question, but New Age is where the damage was done. What is New Age? It's the spiritual teachings that started around the 70s, 80s, but mostly the 90s, the early 2000s, and now. It's still going on. New Age is still going on. Okay? Because, like, it's real simple. So we're talking, New Age is about 50 years old. And it is these 50-year-old New Age systems making up shit about Inky and Enlil. As early as the 90s, you will get this false prophet called Zachariah Sitchin. He wrote like 15 books about the false light teachings of Inky and Enlil and created them as persons. They're not persons. These are actually collectives, families that are alien beings, don't look anything like humans. Some of them look a little like. As you see some of the descriptions in the Voyager's books, some of them are humanoid and have some features. But let me pull that up. Like, what, you can even do this in Google, guys. What is the earliest mention, right? Or source of Inky? Like, your question was about, you see how most people are talking about Inky and Enlil? Well, most people are forgetting about Marduk. It's Inky, Enlil, and Marduk. But they're saying Inky and Marduk are family. Brothers. And their daddy is Anu. And we all learned today who really is Anu, who really is Metatron, who really is Archangel Michael. Part of the Elohim, Anu Elohim, Anu, Metatron lineage. Who are in hell. The Guardians don't call it hell, they call it the Phantom Matrix. People driving around Saturday night in this little Pahrump, Nevada. All right. And you will find out, if you do your own basic searches, you will find the source is coming from the dark, twisted Kabbalah and the Talmud. Long before Babylon or Babylonian Akkadian mythologies. I'm not talking to the person who asked this. I'm talking about a lot of the people who are haters. The haters out there. Do I need to repeat that for you? Because, you could look up when Sumer was around, when Babylon was around. It came before Babylon. And what does that do to your freaking narratives out there? Because people don't know where Metatron comes from. They just start making some crap up and put it in social media. It's the same thing with Inky and Enlil. They make shit up, what they're getting from the occult or from ancient Jewish teachings, the Kabbalah, the occult systems of Talmud. And now they call it truth. It's truth, or it's in some, now mixed in with New Age, like Zechariah Sitchin narratives. As early as the dynastic Ila period, 3rd millennium BC, like the early dynastic period 1, like separation of heaven and earth. God, and people will talk like this. But it also became a Sumerian cosmogony. And they talk about the primeval sea. And from the sea arose the earliest gods. Bullshit! Do you guys think gods come from planet Earth's oceans? Well, the primitive ancient people, if you want to call them primitive, were they always primitive? These ancient people thought they came from the ocean and the seas, and they were worshipped as God. That's God. My people think that is God. Inky is a god. Enlil is a god. Thoth is a god. They're just E.T. dudes, homie. got some more technology. They got UFOs. They got access to portals and stargates. They can set themselves up as gods. And you just have to watch science fiction movies. That's what they're doing. Like, what's this movie series, Aliens? It goes Aliens 1, 2, and 3, but then it starts with, it goes into, what's it called? They show the builder races. And they're tall giants, just like the real Anunnaki are taller than us. But then you find out later that it's related to off-planet, another planet. And humans have to travel to the builders, to the Anunnaki, to the Anu, Inki, Enlil people, which has, by the way, artificial intelligence and black goo in all those movies. It's not God's source, baby. And I'm not talking to the person in question who asked this. I'm talking about all the haters. People don't talk about this stuff. The earliest Sumerian texts confirm the awareness of higher cosmic entities, interacting with Earth, about 4,500 plus years ago. That's BC, right? Before Kabbalah, Talmud, Torah, Bible, any Abrahamic tradition, cuneiform tablets, Eridu, Nippur, and I know this is the holy grail quest that Billy Carson is going on. He's thinking all this is truth when he doesn't consider that these pharaohs, these kings and queens, these people are fallen angelic to begin with. But go for it. I mean, it comes from the Yahweh. So we basically understand that this is coming from extraterrestrial gods. And we talk about, expose all these different gods, the Greek gods, the Roman gods, all these gods. It doesn't matter if it's a pantheon of gods or if it's a monotheistic gods. They're not gods. You guys, there's no such thing as plural gods. There is absolutely no such thing. So when you fall into a pantheon, you're automatically devoured into distortion. You have no truth. Now you're lost. Now you're confused. There's only one source of all. And these beings don't want you knowing or connecting to source, even though you're automatically connected. They're going to say, oh, you need to be punished. You need to be repent. You need to be on your knees and bowing. You need to do sacrifices, murder little lambs, murder goats, murder the Son of God, murder this, murder that. It's about death. Get a clue, you guys, or not. That God's about life and creation, not about destruction and death. And what is Allah doing? What is Yahweh doing? What are these Hindu gods doing? Okay, what are these Babylonian gods, Akkadian gods? What are they doing? They're murdering, destroying, controlling humans. But they're being believed and talked about as benefactors to humans. And I could go on, but I'm not, because we're getting close to the time to end this live. Lots of research to find out about your question, Holy One, Inki, and Enlil. If you like, our moderators have given you the PDFs of Voyagers 1 and Voyagers 2. Control F, search, find, Inky. Search, find, Enlil. And you will see the Guardians never mention them as brothers. Never once will you find Inky or Enlil mentioned as a person or an individual. It's always mentioned as Inky Anunnaki, Marduk Anunnaki, or Thoth Inky Anunnaki, because Thoth is part of that collective. Thoth doesn't look human, only when he goes into a hybrid human alien body. This god that the Egyptians worshipped, these are some of these beings that any races worship and throughout human history. They are actual literal hybrid bloodlines. What is a hybrid bloodline? It's a being that is a soul essence from some collective, like the Inky Anunnaki, coming in and being born into one of their hybrids they put on Earth, that they created on Earth. And there's nothing stopping them from nowadays using clones. A hybrid or a clone body. They will get here. You will get a fallen angel here through these technologies. And this is not new. It's not from the last 50 years of our New Age. So New Agers are taking ancient knowledge and shaking it up and mixing some shit in, and creating their own beliefs. Indigo Wizard says, do a poll. What could I say for the poll? If it's about fallen angels, I don't know, give some suggestions of what the poll could be, bro. Celine is down for a poll. What do you think about the flower of death? Well, it is by the Guardians, or you would hear, I've never heard, maybe Ashana's, yeah, I've heard Ashana say that too. And so has Lisa Renee. And in the advanced teachings, so I can't explain to you in 5 minutes, but in the advanced teachings, they show the real tree of life, which is the Cathara template. In the Kabbalah, they show 10 spheres. That's the false tree of life, the tree of death, the black tree of life, or whatever. Lisa Renee calls it a few different things. It cuts you off from your full potential. This is what they teach in the mysticism of the Jewish people, the Kabbalah. They teach you that this tree of life, it tricks you, right? Oh, it's about life. It must be good. It's the tree of death. Because actually, I think you might be talking about Drunvalo Melchizedek's symbol. Because you said flower, so excuse me on that. So there's the tree, and the false tree, and then the real flower, and then the flower of death. You see what I said earlier? These fallen angels take the guardian teachings. They'll even use similar names and then twist it. Like Drunvalo Melchizedek, it's on his books. I would go grab them, but I'm show you. But I'm starting to pack away all of those old books that I used to use. And so Drunvalo Melchizedek, he's not the one. He's not the author of it. These punks in New Age are only following the ET gods. The ET are the ones bringing it. It's the Galactic Fed bringing you these teachings. Most of New Age teachings are coming from Jehovah Anunnaki, coming from the Jehovah. They're running the Galactic Federation. They're actually running Ashtar Command. They're running New Age channeling. You're not channeling Andromedans. You're not channeling Guardian groups. You are channeling false light groups. You're involved heavily. Most New Agers are heavily involved with the secret space program and have no idea. And this is why I myself am becoming knowledgeable and teaching and interviewing people who are knowledgeable about the secret space program, because that's what is coming from the Anunnaki. That's what's coming from the Super Federation. all these ET races. All this testimony is talking about how they're doing 22 genetic experiments on humans. This is where transhumanism is coming from. Anything trans is not good. Taking you from being your natural diamond sun, 12-strand human, and effing it up. And taking something out and putting something in. Being something else. Putting cybernetics in you. Putting AI in you. Putting this freaking diabolical Luciferian technology into your body. Becoming something other than human. That is what is trans. That is what is anything trans. Transhumanism. They're going to get you to like and rely on artificial intelligence. You heard me talk about it with Brian and Ishmael. And I'm going to be in, this freaking holidays are getting in my way. But I'm not going to celebrate Christmas. But I do want to visit my daughter, my mom, my dad, and my sister for Thanksgiving. They can believe in whatever they want, right? I'm going to believe in what I want, what I align with, what I resonate with, what I've confirmed in my own inner Christos. But it's just, stressful when that's like freaking slowing me down for something, right? I just want to work, and if I want to take a break, it's going to be with my twin flame, and then I'll come back to work and service and bring in this information out. What's up, homies? Let me see what you said about interview theme. Live Lights 144. Good number. Positive vibes. Thank you for that feedback, Holy One. Many blessings. Thank you for parting of our members here. Yeah, there's a lot of people here. A lot of positive people. I'm so grateful to you guys. What is the cult significance of Thanksgiving? I'm not even eating turkey. My family doesn't even eat turkey. They're not even having any special meal. I'm not going in for that, but like, there's a lot of ideas about Easter and definitely Christmas. I mean, Valentine's Day is, some people say it's because of the Valentine massacre. I mean, people don't realize a lot of, why do we even have these holidays? Why do we have the names of the weeks, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? You will find out that it's all occult and secret information. Harvest, it could come from harvest feasting rituals. Ancient cultures, often used harvest festivals for offerings, right? But sometimes Christic, but sometimes fallen. And the modern holiday echoes these patterns, but doesn't carry the original ritual mechanics. Emotional density amplification, unresolved trauma when you have these big family gatherings, conflict, suppression, projection, guilt, shame. Some of you don't want to see some of your relatives, right? Millions of people focusing on the same event creates a temporary collective energy imprint. Basically, the Guardians aren't talking about Thanksgiving, or I haven't even heard Ashana talk about it, but you are murdering a bunch of freaking animals. You grow these animals and then freaking murder them and then devour their flesh. If you think about it, all these intelligent, freaking diabolical people in power, that's a great opportunity to put something in that meat. When there's going to be people around the world eating it. Blood sacrifice, harvesting human energy, ancient cult rituals, hidden gods being worshipped. Metatronic inversion holiday, black magic dates. Like this year, it's 11/27. I mean, it's almost always. So 1, 1, 2, 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1, 1. Violent colonization of native peoples. Connection to that, connection to genocide, connection to the land theft. Erasure of indigenous cultures, whitewashing of history. I mean, if you want to say anything positive about Thanksgiving, you could say it's a focus on gratitude, right? That could be a focus of your family. If you're not meat eaters, I'm not judging meat eaters, but I'm saying, I'm even guilty of eating meat sometimes, but I'm just saying that a lot of people who are on a spiritual journey are being much more mindful of it. Like our brother, Indigo Wizard, I know he's very mindful of it. For example, he didn't eat any meat as far as I remember. He made hamburgers for those who were hungry, but there's some of us who are very mindful of that, and you start to not desire meat as much, right? If some of you are really concerned about Thanksgiving, I would say just think of it very mindfully. Look at some of what it's tied to. It's interesting how a lot of people in the world have adopted some of the American holidays, like Halloween or Thanksgiving or whatever, but it really comes from a historical period of time in America. So it is tied to that, and it is tied to murdering a bunch of turkeys. Who wants to be a turkey in this time of year, right? Shit. It really bothers me when I sit here and think about it. That's the main thing for me. But I don't believe there's any deep occult meaning except for some of the things I mentioned. But Christianity and Jesus holiday, man, that is full of it. So when that comes around, I'll be talking more. I'll be making videos about it, hopefully. So there is a MCEO PDF about Christmas called The Real Christmas Story. So if you wanted to find it, you type in Google. Because some people ask, how do you find it? How do you find anything usually? Google. Use Google, guys. Just type in Google. The Real Christmas Story, Oceana Dean. The Real Christmas Story, Oceana Dean. And you will find the Guardian's point of view of Christmas. It has something to do with the real Jesus, but it has nothing to do with death or sacrifice. That is disgusting. Or the birth of Jesus or whatever. Or the resurrection of Jesus on Easter, and now it's about bunny rabbits or the murder of a bunch of people on Valentine's called, I don't know, man. And I don't even care because you don't even see families really coming together, really. At least not my own. And people that I know of reporting about their own families not coming together anymore. They're separate. My brother's doing his own thing. My sister is doing her own thing. My mother is doing her own thing. My daughter's mother and in-laws are doing their own thing. You see what I'm saying? When I can remember my grandma being alive, when my grandma was alive, we were all together. Even though the cousins I never see anymore, we're all together. my mom, my dad, my uncles, my aunts, my cousins, my grandma, my grandpa, my mom, and my dad, all together for Thanksgiving, all together for Christmas, all together for Easter. What the F happened to this world? Now there's most families are brothers and half brothers and sisters, or separate from miles, or separate from countries, or there's hate in the family, or there's whatever. There was even racism in some of my family. Sorry, not sorry, shit. Okay, I'll do my own thing. I will be with my girlfriend instead. I'll be alone instead, right? I will have my own holiday. I will get lit instead of drunk or whatever. I will watch some cool TV or whatever. And I'm sure you guys know what's up. Whatever you Christic people are aligned with, you see some of this yourself, right? I mean, put it in comments. I would love to hear some of your feedback on that. What's up, homies? What's up, family? Thank you to all of you who hung with us tonight. I don't, elephant tusk, I don't know if I believe that. I haven't read about that. I will now that you're talking about it. Because first of all, that's not what a soul is. If you're studying these teachings, you guys will learn what a soul is. And it doesn't make sense within that question. A soul is not on planet Earth. A soul is in the fifth dimension, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth dimension. Earth is the location of incarnates, where you reincarnate over and over and over again. Or until you can succeed and go beyond, right? Souls are not your soul essence, because humans are 4D souls having an incarnate experience. So technically, it could be accurate from that point of view, but according to these sacred science, right? Spiritual science. The souls always go into the core of the planet they're on, where they died on. So human souls are in something called the morphogenetic field within the planet, and within the morphogenetic field of the race, and within the personal morphogenetic field. You're layered in morphogenetic fields in the core of your planet. For the Earth system, she's dimensions 1, 2, and 3. So our morphogenetic fields, also called your crystal body, are in the core of Earth, which is D2, dimension 2. Souls in the second universe, dimensions 4, 5, and 6, are going into the middle dimension there, which is the fifth dimension. The middle dimension here is the second dimension. 2, 5, 8, maybe galactic core too. 11. So 11, 8, 5, and 2. That's where dead, disembodied beings go. So you die, you go to your personal morphogenetic field in D2. Now, there is something unique about humans, because remember, we're not from Earth, we're from Tara. So the Guardians had to create something like something called the Ark of the Covenant portal passageway. Your soul is going somewhere else temporarily. So I tell you what normally should happen, and I'm telling you what actually happens. We were once upon a time we've been aligned. It has to do with our pyramid and the stargates and the I just said it, the portal passageway, what's that gold box called? Shit. You go through that ascension passageway, and if you are ascending, then you would go to Tara. If not, you're going to either go one of three routes. You're going to go, your spirit will go. It's not, in other words, it's not coming from the sun. Our souls don't stay from the sun. I don't know where that idea is coming from, but there is a temporary place. It was once upon a time to the Pleiades. Once upon a time, it was switched to the Sirius star system, and then it now was pointed to Andromeda, a hidden system in Andromeda. Using the Ark of the Covenant, now I remembered, Ark of the Covenant passageway, it takes you there. Your spirit soul essence will shoot through there and go to that planet in Andromeda. And then incarnating souls come back. There has been interruption to humans' ascension, which was destruction on Earth, which caused cataclysm, and it altered the Great Pyramid of Giza, which was part of this ascension process. The Pyramid of Giza and the Ark of the Covenant passageway. That's how humans would go. But if the Marduk Anunnaki didn't mess with our planet, we would go to the 2D Earth. You better believe that all of the extraterrestrial animals are going to 2D, between lifetimes, between incarnations, because they're from Earth. Humans are not. Now, I won't say that all animals and insects are originally from Earth, because certainly not all of them are. And just like now we have weird ass not so human beings here, well, you better believe some of them are alien type of animals. And you'll hear Ashana talk about it too, you guys. So just to answer your question, Elephant Tusk, good question, by the way, because sometimes it's hard to understand all this stuff, right? I don't believe the solar flares are souls. There is portals in the sun, yeah, I agree with that, definitely. Because even the Guardians say, and also in the Secret Space Program, they know this for a fact, that there is portals, you can call them stargates, portals in planets. They could be on moons. They use one of them there. The SSP. They can be in suns. So there's a highway of portals that these ETs are accessing. How they can come and go. Even if there's a block in one of them, they can find an alternate one. As a matter of fact, Indigo Children use the alternate way through Sirius B. We come through Sirius B to get to Earth. We skip 5D and 4D and 3D. Or no, 4D, so. All right, you guys, I really got to finish it up. Let me see if there's any other close questions. Thank you, Stardust. Bless you, sister. Mwah. I love you. She's one of the ones that also came with us to, excuse me, to Sedona. And you guys can find Stardust, Christos Goddess's interview. I've done an interview with her twice, one time alone, but other time with the group. And you guys got to check out her Instagram page, because she's doing a lot of sharing of the Guardian teachings. And thank you for that, Stardust Goddess. We need more like you sharing in social media about what is real truth, what is God's original intention. And the Emerald Order and Emerald Covenant is what's bringing that. A lot of you are from the Guardian Alliance. A lot of, like Ashana or me, I know, a lot of you are coming from there. You're coming from the IAFW. Remember, there's 25 billion star leagues in the IAFW. There's 10 million in the Guardian Alliance. There's a lot of us coming from these Guardian locations. So thank you, Stardust Goddess. It's been an interesting conversation. And you guys, it's okay if you disagree with some of the stuff I say. I say that with sincerity. And I say it again. We can lovingly agree to disagree. Like, we can still be friends. Like, I haven't found it yet, but I'm sure there could be some things that me and my twin flame disagree with, but I haven't seen that. We're mostly just get along so good. I just want to say that to her, man. I love her so much. And I know she loves me so much. These are tears of joy, you guys. I'm so happy I found her. I'm so happy for you, baby. I love you so much. I hope all of you out there find your twin flame. It empowers you for sure. It makes you stronger for sure. It makes you more protected for sure. And why not? Why not enjoy romantic love in your life? Amazing, amazing vibration, man. You want that streaming into your life. Machiwa. Thank you to all of you. And I know a lot of you agree with these teachings and agree with this point of view. So much, I wish you so much success in your journey. A lot of us are going to be coming together strong. Whatever happens to this planet, whatever is going to go on with America or what's going to go on with the nations in the world, if there's going to be a war, don't live your life in fear. Be strong in your convictions. Stand in your Christos. You know you'll be protected. You know you'll be provided for. You know you'll be okay. Don't think that horrible things. Don't be in worry or shame or fear. Be strong, you guys. That's what these teachings heal. You want to be real in the Christ, in the Christos. Thank you guys for spending your Saturday with us. I hope to see you. Well, this is Tuesday, so hope to. Well, guys, probably not going to do a live on Saturday because of that's my last day in Tucson, Arizona. I might not make it in time for a live, so most likely it'll be next Tuesday, and I hope to have more interviews lined up. And oh my gosh. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much. I got to feed my cats and feed myself. And I'll see you again soon. Machiwa. Shaddai Ure Akuntan. Shaddai Ure Akuntan. Shaddai Ure Akuntan. Omedai Patuma. Omedai Patuma. Patuma Hedeta Hekumna. Omedai Patuma. Tretila Idermna. Tretila Idermna. Nirma Hekem Tahe Kumna. Omedai Patuma. Thank you, angelic humans. Thank you, Kirashe, Kundare, Azurites, Oraphine, Starseeds, Indigos, the Unisai. Machiwa. See you soon, you guys. I love you. Thank you for hanging with us. Powerful. Thanks to my moderators. Stardust Goddess, Sarah Holder, Celine, Christos Mission, Starman, Sermatism, Indigo Wizard. We're bringing it. All of you regulars in the house. Thank you, homies. All of you beautiful, blessed ones. See you soon. Machua.